Yeah! Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Stadium Review episode number 20. Today, as we're in Pullman, Washington, home of the Washington State University Cougar. Today's a very special episode because we have behind the scenes access to the Cougars baseball team in their facilities at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State University is located in the eastern side of Washington, in the Palouse region. Most of their athletic teams compete in the Pac-12 conference, in the western United States, and the baseball team is no exception to that. The team plays their home games at Bailey-Brayton Field, which is on the east side of campus, which originally opened in 1980 as Buck Bailey Field, in honor of the WSU baseball head coach from 1927 to 1961. In 1984, the ballpark installed lights, which made it the first NCAA ballpark in the Pacific Northwest to do so. Then in 2000, the stadium was renamed from the former Buck Bailey Field to the now Bailey-Brayton Field, in honor of the WSU baseball coach from 1962 to 1994. In 2003, the park became the first NCAA Division I stadium to install field turf as a playing surface instead of natural grass. Then in 2013, some of the dirt infield was replaced so the field is now completely turf. And then in 2021, the brand new Cougar Baseball Complex opened its doors as a new state-of-the-art training facility for the university's baseball program. And the stadium as a whole seats a total of 3,500 spectators. Outside the ballpark, something new that the team's doing for the 2022 season is that they're selling RV passes for all weekend series. Bringing campers and RVs into WSU is a huge thing that they do for all the home football games. And the baseball coach is trying to bring that same mentality to the baseball program, so that fans can travel into town, go to all the games over the weekend, and really grow the sense of community around the club. The ball field is located right next to the WSU football blow-up practice dome. And the main stands that wrap from first base to third base are built up with dirt and grass filled in, so it looks like it's built into the side of a hill. Recent renovations improved the whole entryway to the ballpark, as these steps lead you up the hills are lined with past players of the team, and the gates exhibit some fantastic branding with Cougars inside baseballs on the metal fence. And just next to that gate is a plaque dedicated to their project Back to Omaha, which enhanced the home of the Cougar Baseball Club, as this thanks all the sponsors and donors to that program. Speaking of which, I reached out to the director of baseball operations at WSU, and they were able to give me a quick tour of their brand new facility. So let's go inside and have a look. The Cougar Baseball Complex was named Project Back to Omaha, in an attempt to get the team back to the College Baseball World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, with their last appearance in the World Series being back in 1976. With a price tag of $10 million, this brand new building serves as a new hub for the baseball team, as it includes a nutrition bar for the players to get all their pre- and post-game meals in, a really nice open classroom area to go over some film or hold different announcements, a 1,500 square foot weight room and cardio room, and I'm sure the team loves having their own facility to get to work out at and not have to share time with different athletics, as well as a beautiful 1,300 square foot locker room area, as all the players have their real nice individual stalls, as well as cubbies to keep some of their messier items as they head straight on out to the field. However, I think my favorite part of the facility was getting to see the equipment room, especially as they were packing up for their big trip out to Seattle, as the crew was busy prepping all the player bags and packing all the gear up. The nice big sliding cabinets they have really gives a lot of extra space and accessibility to all the different equipment they have. And my favorite one had to have been the last one. As a jersey collector, seeing all the game jerseys and hats made my mouth water. The facility gives great access out to the field, and as previously mentioned, they have a fully artificial turf field, which is ideal because they'll get snow into April when the baseball season's in full swing, and they can bring trucks out just to plow it all off so they can get back to playing. And they don't have to worry about the condition of the grass and growing grass in poor weather. On the far side of the field, past first base, is where they have their hitting cages and older training facilities. And this barn-like facility has some great murals on the back walls, paying tribute to the baseball program, and is a great place for the players to get some reps in. And I want to give a massive thank you to Bryson Campbell and the WSU baseball program for giving me a brief tour, let me take some photos and videos of their plays, as they're extremely proud of this space and they love having their own area to grow the program and the culture of WSU baseball. So when attending a game, you enter through the main gates over by third base. and you enter onto what's called the Miller Plaza, as it's a large area for fans to go in and out of the game, and it's capped off with some great landscaping. Off to the left of the plaza by left field, there's a large area with lots of picnic tables where the concessions also are. And I really like how the fence of the picnic tables is non-obstructive, so you can see right through it into the game itself and don't have anything blocking the way. And the whole picnic and concession area really offers a great place for fans to hang out and congregate either before, during, or after the game. There's a walkway that goes from the concession area wrapping around behind the dugouts in front of the stands, all the way over to the first base side of the park, where the hitting facility that we visited earlier is. And next to the hitting facility by first base, there's an additional turf infield diamond that the team will practice on. And during game days, this is where they set up the beer garden. We went in there and grabbed a drink before the game, but any alcohol that you have has to stay inside the fenced area, and there's not the best view to the field of play from that area. So we made sure to finish our drinks before the game started. And we also took this opportunity to check out some of the food options over at the concession stand. In addition to the normal concessions, they had a little grill area with more deluxe items. However, I settled for an Italian sausage, which was pretty good. And we also got some loaded cheese fries, which were pretty tasty as well, but I think they'd be a little bit better if the cheese was melted on. The seating of the ballpark is laid out in a pretty typical fashion for college baseball, as the main grandstand wraps around the diamond from first base to third. Sections behind home plate have individual back seats, and those are assigned seating that you have to pay a ticket for a specific seat. Meanwhile, the sections along both the baselines are bleacher seats, with pads over the metal bleachers for each individual seat, and those are all general admission seats. Something really interesting about these seats though, is that a lot of times the concrete goes down in kind of a stair-stepping fashion, and the seats are placed on top of the concrete with concrete serving as the walkway between them. However, here in the bleacher section, it's one giant slope slab, with metal bleachers built into the slope. This is a really interesting different design that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else. But a major downside to this design is that a lot of dirt, debris, and leaves can get stuck in between the metal bleachers and the concrete slab, which makes that area pretty dirty pretty quickly. Then right behind home plate, up against the fence between the two dugouts, are these private little box suites, as these seats sit in front of the walkway, so there's never anyone obstructing your view. And a lot of these suites are owned by different donors to the baseball team, and are definitely reserved seating. Up on top of the seats, there's another small platform that you can stand and watch the game from. And right behind home plate is the press box. However, none of the seats are undercovered, so later in the game when it started icing and raining, there was nowhere really to hide. In addition, there's plenty of room to stand and watch the game over by the picnic tables by the concession stand, or over closer to the beer garden by first base. As we approached the first pitch, the atmosphere in the ballpark was pretty good, and I really enjoyed the Imperial March being played as the umpires made their way towards home plate. Exactly. Something noteworthy that I really liked is that WSU has their own student section at the ballpark, and we started out by sitting in this section. And one of their famous taglines is "Give 'em the chair." As every time a WSU pitcher is going for a strikeout with 2 strikes on a batter, the whole student section chants "chair" over and over with holding plastic chairs high up in the air, hoping to strike out the batter and sit him back down. And as you can tell there, the WSU mascot Butch T. Cougar really gets into the game as well. And speaking of animals, whether they're plush cougars or wings in the sky, there are a lot of hawks circling above the field during the games. And hawks are one of my favorite animals, so I really enjoyed that. The game itself that I attended was a fantastic back and forth matchup between the Cougars and the Beavers of Oregon State. Something that I noticed is that the outfield tends to play rather large, as big fly balls will normally drop for outs. In addition, I haven't really been to a lot of college baseball games, and I really enjoyed the energy that the players bring to the game, as it's a completely different style of play than you'll see at the professional level, since it's much more of a team game and there's a lot more base running and bunting compared to the MLB, which I think makes the game a lot more exciting. And after trailing for the majority of the game, the Cougars had a big comeback in the bottom of the ninth to tie the game up.
You're down! Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
And then they went on to hit a walk-off single to win the game.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
And of course, I had to bring home some kind of souvenir with me. So later on in the game, when the crowd was thinning out, there's a foul ball that went all the way back to the dome behind the stadium. And one of the stadium staff was kind enough to let me go out, get it, and come back in. So I took advantage of that and went home with a game ball. In addition, I also caught a t-shirt that they threw out during the game, but it was an extra large, so I gave it to a guy behind me that it fit a little better for. And finally, since this was their opening weekend, they were giving out free things all the games. And for the game that we were there, they were giving out free crew neck sweatshirts, which was a great promo for the cold weather, and definitely came in handy. And I'm sure some of the normal viewers may be a little surprised that I'm all the way out in Eastern Washington, wondering what on earth I'm doing out here. And I'm out here because my girlfriend actually attends Washington State University as a grad student. So I took some time off to go visit her and enjoy the scenes that Pullman had. And lastly, I want to give a big thank you to the WSU baseball staff for showing me around their place and letting me highlight the wonderful facilities they have. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because we have lots more stadium reviews just like this one coming up next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.